Have you seen the news? It's all over the place. Reports are flying that Venezuelan President Maduro has been removed and is now in the United States. Videos are circulating showing him disembarking a plane surrounded by personnel with FBI markings. At the exact same time, a bombshell report from Reuters dropped. Venezuela's crude oil exports have hit a complete standstill. This is where it gets strange. Tankers that were already loaded with oil are just stuck at the docks, not allowed to leave. Other ships that were waiting to load have given up and sailed away empty. The country's main oil port, the Jose Terminal, saw zero activity. But here's the kicker. Other sources say the oil fields and refineries are operating normally with no damage. So, what's going on? If the oil is being pumped and refined, why isn't a single drop leaving the country? It's like having a full warehouse, but the doors are locked. The answer is that modern oil export is a complex chain, and right now, every single link in Venezuela's chain is being choked. Let's break down the 4 key choke points. First, the port clearance system is frozen. It's not that the ports were bombed. It's that no one dares to sign the paperwork. With the political situation up in the air and sanctions looming, port officials are in a state of collective hesitation. Signing off on a tanker could mean facing sanctions or legal trouble down the line. So, nothing moves. Second, the shipping risk is through the roof. Even before this weekend, U.S. pressure was already squeezing Venezuelan oil. Sanctions and blockades had already cut exports in half from November to December. Shippers were avoiding Venezuelan waters like the plague. By the end of December, nearly 24 tankers were just sitting offshore, waiting. The system was already on the verge of collapse. This political earthquake just gave it the final push from near paralysis to total standstill. Third, they're running out of space to store the oil. This is a huge problem. When you can't export, the first thing to back up isn't crude oil, but the byproducts from refining. By the end of last month, Venezuela's storage for these byproducts was already near its limit. They were reportedly resorting to desperate measures just to keep the refineries from shutting down. If exports remain at zero, the pressure to cut production at the oil fields themselves will become immense within days. It's a domino effect. Exports stop, storage fills up, refineries shut down, and then the oil wells have to be turned off. And the fourth choke point is systemic friction. On top of everything else, Venezuela's state oil company, PDVSA, has been hit by. This has crippled their administrative systems, forcing them back to manual paperwork, which slows everything down. What's an efficiency problem in normal times becomes a critical failure during a crisis. So, the core issue isn't a lack of oil production. It's an export cardiac arrest. The oil is there, but it can't get out, and money can't get in. What happens next? All eyes are on 2 things in the next 48 hours. First, Maduro's expected court appearance in New York. A clearer legal process might calm some market jitters. Second, an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council. Their decision will determine how the rest of the world responds to U.S. sanctions and naval actions over the next week. We'll be watching vessel tracking data to see if any tankers start loading or leaving the Jose port. That will be the first real sign of whether this crisis is easing or getting much, much worse. This is a fast-moving story with huge implications for global energy markets. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next update. Thanks for watching.